G'day, so in this video we're going to be looking at finding lengths of diagonals in prisms. Okay, so we've got two rectangular prisms here. One we've got numbers in, the other one we've just got letters representing the side lengths. So we're going to work out how to do this. So first we'll just go with how we actually work it out with numbers. So in the red here I'm going to try and draw a line across. We first need to find our diagonal down the bottom here. Okay, there, and this right angled triangle here. Okay, so I'm just going to sketch this up in the top corner. Yet again, it won't be exact, but it's just a sketch. So, as you can tell, it's not very exact, but it's still getting the idea. 8, 7, and we have a right angled triangle here, so then we need to find the hypotenuse. Okay, so we need to find that. So our x, the hypotenuse is going to equal to 7 squared plus 8 squared, or the square root of all that. 7 squared plus 8 squared is 113, so it's just going to equal the square root of 113. That doesn't really simplify it down, so I'm just going to leave it like that so we have an exact answer to use, so our values don't get messed up with decimal points and that kind of thing at the end, because if you round early it can affect that. Okay, next in green, okay, now we need to find this diagonal, and this is what's asking us in the question, AC. So AC, this here, we've got a value for this down here now, and a height of 5, so I'm just going to draw out our triangle again, in green. So we got 5 and square root of 113, and we're finding out the hypotenuse again. Okay, so this is length AC. So we just set it up the exact same. Square root, but we've got the square root of 113 squared. And this is going to be plus 5 squared. So just when you're squaring a square root, just remember that these two cancel out. Okay, so essentially what you're left with is 113 plus 5 squared, or the square root of all of that. So it becomes the square root of 113 plus 5 squared, which is 138. Okay. And this one, you can just leave it at this if you want to. This is an exact value. Okay, if you were to round it, say it was meters or something like that, and you wanted 2 decimal points, this is equal to 11 point, and I think it's 75, so it's 7473, which rounds it to 11.75. Okay, now this question here, this second one, so part B, I'll start this off in blue here, but we actually use the exact same process. Just because there's letters in there representing the numbers doesn't make any difference. So you use this exact same process. So first we need to find out this side length at the bottom. I'm just going to call that one x again. So x, this one if I drew it out, we'll have b and a. So this is going to equal the square root of a squared plus b squared. Okay, and we can't really simplify it any further than that. So we'll leave it like that. Alright, and in yellow, then we want to find the diagonal, this a to c. Okay, a to c. So we have a value for x. So I'm just going to draw out our triangle here. So x is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. So this value down the bottom is now square root of a squared plus b squared. And our side length height is c. So our value for this, we just substitute in the value. So it's going to equal the square root of our bottom value, which is a squared plus b squared, or the square root of a squared plus b squared. And that's all going to be squared plus c squared. So now we have a square root and a squared here, so these two cancel out. Okay, these two cancel out, so it just leaves AC. This here is going to be equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared plus c squared. So you can actually use this for the exact same examples. If you use the values up here, okay, you would end up getting this answer here. So this actually gives you a formula to use whenever you encounter the same problem. So if you have a rectangular prism and you want to find out the length of the diagonal, this is actually the formula you can use, okay, if you know those three side lengths there. Okay, so hopefully this helps with that and using Pythag to work out diagonal lengths. So good luck.